Welcome to Ask the Funeral Director with Mike Voyajakis. Brought to you by Voyage Funeral Home and Crematorium. Now, here's your host, Brad Wilder.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Ask the Funeral Director. Yes, I am your host, Brad Wilder. Going all the way down there for just a second. Hope you're having a great Wednesday night. We're back October the 8th today. And we're making our way quickly up to Halloween, aren't we? So a little bit of trick-or-treating tonight. Are we tricking you? Maybe. Are we treating you? Definitely. There's a lot to come on tonight's show. You're going to be amazed. So I know some of you are just finally logging on. We're starting to see more and more coming into the show here. We're getting lots of comments happening. We're going to get to all of it, and there's a big surprise on the way right here on Ask the Funeral Director. Welcome back to Ask the Funeral Director. With me, the host, the man himself, Mr. Mike Voyajakis. It's great to have you in the house tonight.
Good evening, Brad. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Busy guy.
Everybody's busy these days. There's lots
Today
going
was
on.
one heck of a day.
How come?
So,
what happened?
You know, we're standing outside the funeral home, and out of nowhere walks these two guys.
Yeah.
That look like they're mailmen or maybe water meter readers or something. And they walk past the funeral home, and they walk inside.
Right.
So, didn't have a clue who these guys were. So I was outside with Sam and Mike, and all of a sudden they walk by again. I go, hey, what's that uniform? Where are you guys from? Well, we're from Planning and Development. I'm like,
Planning and Development.
Okay.
Yeah, who's that?
So so I go inside, and I figure, well, I'm going to find out, who these guys were.
Sure.
Sure enough, there is another fine for Mike Voyajakis. I don't know what it was, $1,500 or whatever it is. So
what happened?
They
what did
call
they give
it. They call it, and we talked about this before, but they're coming back again. They give me the same tickets over and over again. So to make a long story short, yesterday I put a post up about the emergency services that we're doing, fire paramedics.
Yeah, the big show coming up.
We're doing something on Saturday at 1:00, and I guess our mayor is not very happy about me standing up for fire paramedics and demanding change. We need change because your life depends on it. Your loved one's life depends on it. So I decided, well, I'm going to stand in there for fire and paramedics, and we're going to demand change, and we're going to do it together at City Hall. And then I put a picture of Scott Gillingham in a Batman outfit standing beside a dog, and I said something like, Batman is here to save the city, because...
Where's he been the last 3 years?
So Batman scaled down a building, and he's coming to save all of you from the crime and the violence in Winnipeg, Manitoba. But it's funny, he's doing it on an election year. He's been missing in action for 3 years, and all of a sudden, there he is, climbing down the building. Scott Gillingham, better known as Batman.
So big thing coming up this weekend. You got it all lined up, right? Ready to go?
Yeah, so it's going to be great. And if you could come to City Hall, what we need is to show City Hall that the people are in charge. The people have the power, and I'd hate to tell you this, Mr. Mayor, but you work for the people. And that's what it should be about, the people's voice, doing things that help the people, that provide for the people, and make it easier for them to live and survive and be able to enjoy life.
If you were the mayor, would you go out once a week and take photo ops?
If I was the mayor, I would worry about taking care of people, taking care of issues. I would definitely have a once a month, believe it or not. I'd have an open door policy at City Hall.
Sure.
Come in, spend 10 minutes talking to the mayor, and let me know what your issue is. Because sometimes the issues get all bypassed.
Boy,
right?
can you imagine what that show would look like?
That'd be incredible, and it could be a show.
It could
people
be a show.
coming in and talking to the mayor,
Yeah.
and the mayor actually caring about people and finding out what their problems are. And sometimes you could bypass all these departments and take notes and get on top of it all by yourself. But before we go any further,
You want to say hi?
I'll say hi to some people because, boy, do we have a surprise for you tonight.
Want to say hi to our first online tonight?
Well,
that is,
it's who do you think it is?
It's Gord. It's gotta be Gord.
Welcome to the show, Evening Mike and Brad. Kathy, tickle, tickle, tickle. Hi, everyone. And of course, we asked the funeral director would be the same without Angela,
That's right.
the Italian stallion.
There you go. Debbie McKenzie's here from Tabor. I posted a thing about an ostrich running down the street in Tabor the other day. Obviously, it's still a big stir about these ostriches getting slaughtered out in BC with regards to the ranch and the CFIA doing some really bad things to birds. They shouldn't even be doing that.
They want to get rid of everything good. So,
Yeah.
the antibodies that they have
Correct.
are valuable. So let's just kill them.
We're gonna talk about that later tonight in the show. So look, Debbie, hey, it was great to have you on board tonight. I know that you were the one possibly who even maybe sent me that video from Tabor, reminding me that ostriches were running loose in Tabor. There were 20 that actually got out and got loose and were running through the whole town.
Yeah, they're smart.
They are.
They're doing what so a little while ago, I don't know if you heard about this on the news.
Hey, flock off.
Flock off. What? I thought you just swore at me. I said, "Hey!"
I saw
The
your
heck?
face.
So, so a little while ago, this guy killed a little 8-year-old girl and a mother, a truck driver, and he flew.
Yeah.
He took off and went back
6
to
months
India.
he was gone,
Yeah.
and he disappeared.
Gone to India for 6 months.
No, he
disappeared.
didn't go to. Did he go to India, or did he just crawl into his cave?
I think his Indian cave.
He's got a house. He's probably got a basement. He went into the cave.
Anyways, he disappears, and then 6 months later, he decides he's going to come back to Canada and
Face the wrath?
live the Canadian life. No,
Oh no,
he
didn't
had
think
no
he was gonna
intention of doing
oh,
that.
Really?
So then, Border Patrol catches him.
And
They arrest him, and they pass him over to the authorities, and he gets arrested and charged again. And what do you think happens?
I don't know. Why do I
The
feel
judge
like
releases him the next day on a promise to appear.
holy? That's it. Nothing. Promised to appear again.
After he just fled,
He skipped.
he skipped. Obviously, he's a skipper.
Yeah. Big
and,
time.
and promised to appear. Anyways, gonna say hi to some more people here because
Yeah. How do you stop that problem? We might be able to talk about that later tonight too.
we're
All right.
going to talk about a lot of things tonight.
That's
So
right.
where were we here? You were at Debbie, Steve H. Hey, Steve. Replying to Jay. Well, he's not talking to us. Christina Haley.
Mike, are you pregnant?
Yo, what's up, Christina?
Deb-
Dan Nichols.
Debbie wants to know if you're pregnant.
Transit is a
She
mess.
said one of us, but it's got to be
Pregnant?
you.
No, I
Pregnant.
think it'd be
she's-
you.
Look at Debbie. Her comment.
Debbie,
Are
it's-
one of you pregnant?
It's Brad. If you can tell, he's got a belly happening now. and all
Look,
that
he's
kind
got
of
more
stuff.
color in his face. He's
Michelle
glowing.
Roy
He's
from-
glowing.
Cindy McRae.
How
awesome to
how
see.
did that haircut go today down at Tommy Gunn's?
Like that haircut, eh?
It's pretty slick.
I didn't get in.
No, you didn't get
It's my natural hair.
All right.
Hey, read some more names.
I want to thank Randolph for being here. Brooke Long. Hello, Brooke. Arlene is here tonight. Thanks for always having a great show. We appreciate that. All the kind words that you all bring to us every single week. We couldn't do it without you guys, and we appreciate you every single moment of the way.
Is this Corolla?
Corolla.
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 Like the car?
Corolla Bergen Sawatsky.
Wow.
You
Hello,
know,
Mike and Brad.
I coached this Sawatsky hockey player a couple of years ago, and a fantastic hockey player.
You look more like a referee than a coach.
No, I'm definitely a coach.
Lisa Noltz, Al Bueller. Hey, Al. Welcome to the show. Terry Good. Love Terry. Good guy.
Absolutely.
You could almost say he's sort of like family,
Well, he's good.
but not really.
He's really good.
Because when he comes to my place, I don't charge him. When I go to his place, he charges me.
Can you imagine having that autograph?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Sue
Carol?
Critland is
Sue?
here. BC went to ostrich. Wait, hold on. She went to the ostrich farm for a few days. Well, thank you. That's great. Hold that line and stand strong. I wish that situation was 100% different.
Yeah, me too. Cascai.
yeah.
Good evening, Mike and Brad.
Christine Barnes. You know, I used to coach, pardon me, coach. I used to play hockey with her husband, Sean.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of comments on here. You know what? We love you guys. We thank you for coming and watching Ask the Funeral Director and being with us and showing us all the love in the
I
world.
see Debbie's on top of her game with her last comment there. Perfect, Debbie. we can't agree more, unfortunately.
No
we
kidding.
Can't,
And
can't say it out loud, but
you know, you got to, boy, what a show it was with Trump yesterday and Carney.
it was.
Carney looked like he was kind of like,
he was just cowering. And,
oh my God.
No.
And the things he was saying to him were dedicated directly to him.
Oh, yeah, your kid. Well, we don't do that in this country anymore.
Cheryl Zimmer's on the show too. Hey, Cheryl, nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
Well, it's
Hey, what happened? Did you put out a post earlier today or something and tell everybody to watch tonight? Because look at all these people.
well, you know what? I basically said tonight. Now, there's nothing wrong with your
right on the bottom of the screen.
There's nothing wrong with your screen. There's nothing wrong with your TV. This is a death of Ask the Funeral Director.
Is it over?
Death of Ask the Funeral Director. It's over. Your screen may go black any second now.
You think it might?
It might, and then
So
hang in there if it goes black.
I want to know why the end?
We're putting Ask the Funeral Director to sleep. Not meaning
To rest.
to rest. We're not
What's another word? You're a funeral director. You must have another one.
lay in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in
Yeah, there
peace.
you go.
We're putting Ask the Funeral Director to rest. That's what we're doing. It doesn't mean we're not going to.
It's taking the train.
It doesn't mean we're not going to talk about funeral topics. It doesn't mean that we're not going to.
Delve on all kinds of things.
Yeah, we're going to be all over the place. But when we get back, we're going to talk to you about the real deal. But right now, let's lay.
Welcome to the Mike Voyajakis Show, everyone. We're giving you some real competition for mayor, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
I say we, but you're not even invited yet. Okay, hold on now. Let me make this presentation quite clear. We have done some changes, and this will be the new show, the Mike Voyajakis Show. Not only will I be hosting it still, but obviously the special guest himself, Mr. Mike Voyajakis, will be on the program regularly every single week, Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock. This is our chance to, I guess, take it somewhere that this city has been waiting for, and some real attention to not only the caring that's needed, but also the authority that's needed to get things done. The opportunity to make change, positive change, and this is going to help everybody. So welcome.
Welcome.
Great to have you here.
Oh, it was almost like we were on another show 2 minutes ago.
Well, we kind of were, but we're back.
So here's the situation. Scott Gillingham can start talking about running for mayor. This is the good thing about this show.
Hold on. Do we need a disclaimer first? I didn't write one of those.
We are going to talk about whatever we want to talk about. It doesn't have to be funeral related. It's going to be what's going on in the world, what's going on in our city, what you need to hear, the truth. This is going to be
real truth,
real talk.
Yep. Real truth, real talk.
So if Scott Gillingham, the mayor of Winnipeg, so listen, if you're running for mayor, you can't talk or say you're running for mayor, which I'm not.
We're not.
We're preparing maybe that I will run for mayor in May. I will.
Competition.
But I can't say Mike for mayor or anything like that yet. But I can say that I'm running for mayor in May. But Scott Gillingham can promote himself for a whole year. As a matter of fact, as you can tell now, he's already out there and he's already promoting himself. And now he's putting out the red carpet and making himself look, I'm the hero. He disappeared for 3 frickin' years. 3 years. And now we're going to have the Mike Voyagakis show. We're going to keep Mike Voyagakis' name out there. So in May, when it comes time that I can put my name on the ballot, look out, Scott Gillingham. I want you to know right now, I'm coming for your job. I'm coming for your job because people need a real mayor who takes care of real problems and puts people first. And that'll be me. Finally, in City Hall, there'll be a mayor that talks for you, that stands up for you, that cares about you, makes the right decisions for your family, makes the right decisions for your businesses. It's going to be a change that the city needs, a change that's going to go down and deep, and finally, you will have a mayor in the future, and I say this, you will have a mayor in the future who honestly cares and loves you just like I love my own family.
That's fantastic. I can't wait. This is all going to open the door to discussing topics and issues that people have on a daily basis in this city and province, for that matter.
Wait, stop! Right now, share, like, and follow the show. We need to make this huge. We need to create a massive audience.
That's right.
That competes to what a mayor has, because an incumbent mayor doesn't get beaten too often. It just doesn't happen. Why? Because they have the power of the media, they have the power of the press, and they can say what they want, when they want, how they want, and they get away with it. But we're going to create a platform here that's going to put our voice out, all of our voices, and Winnipeg is going to hear us, and they're going to get to know who we are, why we're here, what we're going to do, what we stand for, and how the difference is going to be amazing.
It is.
It is going to be amazing. And
got the bells back because, we're going to have a lot of issues.
My issues, you. But it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and it's time for change.
It is, and
it
it's
really
time to get
change.
into the show.
Scott Gillingham coming after me today. Who does that? That's like the mafia. That's how the mafia runs their business. The guy up on top says, "Hey, go out there and teach this guy a lesson. Make sure that he hurts, that he knows we're coming for him, and he's not untouchable. We're going to hurt him where it hurts, his pocket." Scott Gillingham.
$1,500 though, eh?
Hey, Scotty, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, Scotty. Come on. I'm waiting for you, Batman. Yep.
Hey, all right, so tonight's show, let's get into it. This is the topic tonight, giving you some real competition, obviously, as part of it. But the reality here is that we're going to get into some topics. So the chip.
I like the energy.
Yeah, the chip, the digital ID, and the number 666. How close are we in Canada? Obviously, end is near, and that means, what is that, revelations?
Yeah, that's what it could mean, and I just have to...
catch up.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad. It's a great topic, by the way. It strings curiosity and concern, right? Because everyone's curious about that. When people talk about the chip, they usually are referring to a microchip, small enough to fit under your skin, something that you could store your ID in, your health, your driver's license, your credit cards, your banking information. This isn't science fiction. These are chips that already exist. Some people in Europe and the U.S. have had them implanted voluntarily. They can open doors. They can pay for coffee. They can open up their car doors, their house doors, just by the wave of a hand. Now, here in Canada, we're not implementing chips, but we're developing them. Digital identity technology is here. Systems designed to verify who you are online, mainly for government, banking, and for the government to know what you're doing all the time. It's all presented as convenience, but the concern is how that convenience could evolve into control.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
So the biblical connection to this is clear. A lot of people, the idea comes from Revelations 13, 16, 18, where it says, no one could buy or sell unless they have the mark. And that mark is known as the mark of the beast. 666. Some people believe that the passage is symbolic, representing loyalty to evil, the devil, or the rejection of God. Others believe it's just plain evil. That one day there will be a symbol of control tied to commerce, and everyone will be forced to take that mark, or you'll lose accessibility to society.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I'm not saying the microchip is the mark of the beast, but I'm also not saying it couldn't be becoming of the symbol of the mark of the beast. When we give away central authority, the power to decide who could buy and who could sell, even more freely, we're walking straight into that prophecy of the Bible and 666. Did you get all that, Brad?
I did. So what's happening right now here in Canada then, Mike?
Right now, we're not at that point of mandatory chips or digital marks, but we are building a foundation. The government is developing a digital ID system to make online access faster, more secure. They say it's about convenience, identity protection, and fraud prevention. So under Bill C-27, called the Digital Character Implementation Act, there are privacy and consent rules that protect citizens for now. But let's be honest. Once the infrastructure is in place, the digital database and facial recognition is in place, it only takes the government one crisis, one more agenda to turn convenience into corruption.
That's right. So
And a perfect example of that was when we went through 2 years of hell here on Earth that they called COVID. And COVID was the biggest scam that ever existed. And right here and right now, it's coming back. It was a training ground for the government to learn how to control you, to learn how to put fear into you, hate. How many families fought? How many families argued? How many families didn't talk to each other? As a funeral director, I shared many stories of families who just didn't talk to each other, didn't care about each other. And so many people died alone. Think about that. You let your loved ones die alone because the government told you you can't see mom or dad.
That's right. That's right.
And I hope this never happens again. Now, if this chip gets implemented, I would run 1,000,000 miles away as fast as you can. And I hope you're on board with me on this, because this chip is not about convenience. But they sell it to the younger generation as convenience. The younger generation thinks it's the coolest thing since cornflakes. Oh, I can open up my car door. I don't need a driver's license. I don't need my credit card. Everything is on my wrist. I just scan that magic wand and everything's paid for. That's what they're selling this
How
as.
magical, eh?
And the younger generation thinks it's great. They think, wow. But when we talk about the number of the beast, and we talk about control, and we talk about the government knowing every little thing about you. Well, Brad.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Brad, you didn't pay your credit card payment this month, so what did they do?
Shut me
They
down.
shut off your chip. They can shut off your... What are they doing in homes? Let's go one step further. They're putting digital reading of your water meters in your house.
Every smart TV has a camera. Every smart TV has a microphone. They're watching, they're listening, they're calculating, and they're gathering the biggest amount of data on humans ever before. And it's such a big step for guys like, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg to ramp up exactly this data collection. Their facilities are massive. I know a truck driver who hauls the actual buildings down from Fort McMurray to the States. And these buildings are built in Fort McMurray, transported there, and then put on a great big plot of land, and there's thousands of buildings, and they all are collecting data on humans everywhere.
I say, don't be fooled.
No, don't be fooled.
Even the richest people in the world say, what do you invest in? Invest in data centers. Empty buildings filled with computers.
Yeah.
They make you money every second of the day. It's coming, and it's scary, and you need to talk to your kids about it. You need to talk to your family about it.
What's really scary about this is that the guys in control are the scary part. It's not the technology. It's how they use this. What kind of? I mean, Epstein Island was created for a reason, and it was really for blackmail. And that being said, how much damage could Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg do to any human on the planet based on the amount of data collected? How much bribing would there be?
Let's just say the technology's in place. We're not there yet, but the tools already exist. They're just not enforcing it yet.
Yeah.
In Canada, the systems are still voluntary, but history shows us control doesn't come all at once. It comes gradually.
You think
First, it's optional, then it's recommended, and eventually it's required. Almost like the vaccine. We recommend you get the vaccine. It's going to save your life. It's going to save your grandma's life and your mom's life and your dad's life. Oh, wait a sec. We made a mistake. It's not going to save any lives. Oh, you won't get sick. Oh, wait, you will get sick. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Eventually, it's going to be required. Eventually, they're going to tell you, well, if you don't get the vaccine, you can't travel, you can't go to work, the chip's going to be exactly the same thing. This chip has been placed in people's hands in Switzerland and Sweden for 3 years now. Thousands and thousands of people have this chip, and they think it's convenient, and they think it's cool, and it's not cool, and it's not convenient. Well, maybe it is convenient, a little bit, right? The convenience is definitely there, but the scary part is the control. That's where our freedom disappears, my friends. One upgrade at a time, and say goodbye to your freedoms.
So that's some of the real dangers, obviously. What do you think worries you most, Mike, about that?
3 things, Brad. First, consent. Any technology tied to your identity or body must remain voluntary. So that means if you want to get it, not mandatory to get it. Second, privacy. Who owns your data? Who could track you? Sell your information, manipulate you. Third is once a system controls your access to healthcare, travel, or banking, you're no longer free. Your freedom is out the window. We've already seen how easily fear during a crisis can be used to justify control. And it can happen again. The next time it might not just be about public health. It might be about access, money, beliefs, faith, freedom, responsibility.
So I guess some people are saying now that, if you've got nothing to hide, what's the real problem here, Mike? I mean, come on now. You got nothing to hide, do you?
Brad,
how do you answer
freedom
that?
Isn't about hiding anything. It's about having the right choice to choose. When every part of your life is connected to one system, whoever controls that system controls you. It's not about paranoia. It's about protecting human dignity. Faith teaches us that power can be corrupt. So as people of conservative mind, we must stay awake, ask questions, and defend our freedoms before they're actually taken away. Because we know once our freedoms are taken away, they're gone. Gone forever.
Absolutely. That's exactly what's going to happen. So,
and we'd like to hear your comments in the comment section. Tell us what you feel. Would you get the chip? So tomorrow morning, if we woke up, Brad, and all
we're
of a
not
sudden,
waking up together ever. Not a
waking up
chance. Never ever.
Jeez. If we woke up tomorrow, Scott Gillingham.
I'm not going camping with
if
you.
Scott
pal.
Gillingham, the ex-pastor, who, anyways, if he said, well, it's mandatory in Wab Canoe. He's kind of all over the place too. So, if Wab Canoe said, well, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you have to get the chip by Friday, otherwise you're no longer allowed to go to work, you're no longer allowed to travel, what would you do? Here's the situation, and here's what hurts. What they're planning on doing in the future is if you don't have your medical card in your hand by the chip,
that's right.
if you don't have your driver's license there, if you don't have all government paperwork on your hand, you're not getting care. You're not going to be able to drive a car. You're not going to be able to do any of the things that you call convenience right now. They're going to say, get the chip or you don't exist.
That's right. And what was that movie? Geez, maybe our audience can help us out here. Why don't you guys take a quick look for me? There's a movie with Wesley Snipes and a bunch of other great actors in there. Stallone was in it. He was a cop.
Yeah.
It's turning into that kind of a society all of a sudden, or at least that's what Close's wonderful envisionment is, and so is Mayor Gillingham's, for that matter.
I think Mayor Gillingham and
we know all
Close are
about
on
the
same
we
board.
know all about the 15-minute cities.
What board? Okay, so I want to let you know something. So what board did Gillingham sit on? A mayor sitting on this board.
Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Board.
The Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Board. Who sat on that board? Scott Gillingham. What business does the mayor of Winnipeg have sitting on a board like that?
Oh, only one reason at all, and dineros.
Money. Well, Scott, I wonder, after I take your job away as mayor, if you're ever going to go back to being a pastor.
Well, that might be tough to do. Boy.
According to Wob, we're all goofballs,
boy.
you and I and everyone else, so that's what everybody says. Goofball.
Demolition Man. Thanks, Randy
Man.
Medwood from Toulon. We
Way to go,
appreciate
Randy.
that.
I remember Demolition Man.
Hey,
And-
is it still called Toulon, Randy? I want to know, because I know that you guys had some trouble up there with your little town council, and the same thing is actually going on in the RM of Raymond, actually.
Well, that's because they just changed the name.
Oh,
They-
what did they change it to?
They changed the name instead of the board Scott sat on. They called it something
the
else now.
Winnipeg Metropolitan
Yeah,
Region. They
yeah,
did
yeah.
change the name there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
not that board. I'm talking about this other board that was part of the Toulon, like this.
How many boards
town
are there,
coun-
Brad?
Town council.
Well,
town council.
Let's ask him and see.
Well,
Toulon, Manitoba.
It's
Brad
still
said.
called Toulon, he says,
Yeah.
but at one point they had lost a bunch of city council or town council members, and there's another RM here in Manitoba that's just had 6 or 5 of them walk out and leave the the chair all by herself, sitting there at the table with one other, and it's kind of like, what's going on here? And I think it's people who are saying, we don't want to be part of this Winnipeg Metropolitan Region nonsense, and saying no to the 15-minute cities. And I think that people are starting to finally stand up and leave the desk and go, I'm not in on this stuff, and if you're going to do that, you're the one who's going to take the
I'm
responsibility.
just curious, since we're talking about chips. So as a mortician funeral director,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a whole collection of them.
Oh, yeah.
So does that mean I can just put it in my pocket, walk around, and...
You're going to have a whole collection. Well, you're not going to be funeral director anymore if you're mayor.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
that can't happen no more.
It's funny how that works. But we hope you like the new format. We hope you like the Mike Voyajaka show. Brad's obviously going to be with me for forever until he dies, which is a long times away.
I got my pre-booked with him,
He's
so we're
pre-planned.
good. Yeah.
We're putting him in the burner.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bone crusher.
Well, we're gonna finish off this segment, Brad.
Couldn't make any funeral jokes like this before.
No, now we can talk about everything and these funeral jokes, and then the board of funeral service and other funeral directors go, that guy's destroying funeral service. Like, he can't be talking like that. Well, now it's the Mike Voyajaka show. Like it or not, this is what it is.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, share, and follow. Invite more of your friends.
So
let's
wait, no,
make this a
wait.
platform.
Well, a platform where
gonna be
you guys all come in.
Huge.
Yeah, you guys all come into this. I want you to realize one thing. We need topics. We need issues. We need things that we need to discuss about this city. We need you to bring them to the table in the comments section each and every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
We're watching the comment section all the time.
Every 7 days, you have a chance to talk to somebody who cares and somebody who's hopefully going to be in the right position one day soon. And when that position and day happens, we're going to see results. And that's ultimately why we need to have these talks. Somebody else would rather go out and do photo ops. This guy here wants to get the job done. That's what I can say. If you missed half the show, you better go back and watch because, well, it's a whole new show, lady.
Listen, not only do I want to do things right, but I don't need to leave the funeral home.
That's all right, Sherry.
I don't need to leave the funeral home and do anything else. I'm really comfortable doing what I do, and I love being a funeral director. But in my brother's memory, who was murdered, the day I stood up at his memorial service at the Cork and Flame, I said one thing. I will make change in my brother's memory. Kyriak's name will not go faded away. I will make 100% definite change in his name, and I'll do it with love, and I'll do it with compassion, and I'll do it with care. And most of all, I'll do it for you. And it's not about the money.
No.
It's about the people, and we need to push money aside, because I'll tell you what, I bury a lot of people, and I've never seen anybody take their money with them. That's the bottom line. Enjoy your life, enjoy your money, enjoy your family, and, you know, it's out of control in Winnipeg. They've raised your taxes, they've raised your water and waste, they've raised your garbage, and they keep raising $50 million on Portage and Main when they could have did. You know, I want to share a story with you. Really important. Part of my topics.
Your platform?
So, you know, my father-in-law fell last week in his yard. I don't know if you know about this, but I'm going to share it with you. Fell in his yard. He's 93 years old. He's a busybody. He liked to be out there, keeping himself busy, doing what he likes to do. So he was picking weeds or whatever he was doing, but he fell. He hit the ground, and he couldn't get back up. So people came out and asked if he was okay. He was screaming in pain, in agony, and he asked them to call 911. He was obviously hurt. They called 911. At first, they got an answering machine. Imagine calling 911, getting an answering machine when you're in dire need of an ambulance. So finally, 911 picks up the phone, and they say, well, we're busy. You're not a top priority, so you can just be where you are. They told the family, don't give them any water, any food, anything like that, and we'll have an ambulance there within 3 hours. This is a guy who paid taxes, who raised families, who helped build the city, worked 3 jobs to feed his family. 3 hours he waited for an ambulance. When the 3rd hour came up, guess what? You got a call from 911. Unfortunately, we're going to be another 3 hours. This poor guy, this poor 93-year-old elderly gentleman, sat on his lawn for 6 hours before paramedics arrived. That's unacceptable. It's wrong. I don't care how old a person is. What happened to our 911 system?
100%.
Why is a 93-year-old gentleman sitting on his lawn for 6 hours before paramedics arrive? And let's go one step further. Whatever happened to the fire department coming out and assessing this gentleman and making sure that, you know, he's not having a heart attack, making sure that he...
You know,
Gord said, we may as well have called an Uber, 5 minutes.
Yeah, your old show used to talk about care of life, care and compassion and all that stuff. Isn't there something with the fire department where they have to actually provide that comfort and care to somebody
There
who
is.
is...
So what should have happened in this case is the fire department should have sent a fire truck out, and somebody should have been with my father-in-law, Al, until the paramedics arrived. That didn't happen. 93-year-old guy who's got lots of pride, respect from the neighborhood, all of a sudden is embarrassed because he's on his lawn screaming for help. And when he did get to the ambulance, when he did get to the hospital, his hip was completely shattered to the point where they took him in and did surgery on him and gave him a new hip. So completely wrong. No family in a Winnipeg district or Manitoba or anywhere in the world should have to wait 6 hours for an ambulance. What kind of city are we living in? Scott Gillingham, you're spending $50 million on Portage and Main, yet our citizens that pay taxes are suffering because of your choices. Oh, let's go paint the streets, make the streets look pretty.
Yeah.
What's
that going to do?
Let's put these slow curbs all around so we stop people from speeding. How about getting ready for 15-minute cities? And let me tell you, if I become mayor of the city, I will do anything and everything in my power to stop what they call 15-minute cities. And I can also assure you that I will make drastic changes to paramedic and fire where that will never happen to another citizen again. It could be your father, it could be your mother, your brother or sister. And let me tell you, if you're having a heart attack and the ambulance takes 6 hours?
Every second matters.
Every second matters.
Period, every second.
You may as well call me at the funeral home and have a hearse pick you up because 6 hours, you're dead after a heart attack.
Look, we're not going to get into this all tonight, but there's going to be things that will come up down the road as we move closer to that day when you get to make an announcement, and bigger than tonight, obviously.
Yeah, but we're going to push topics tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, we're going to push topics every week.
Right, but what I'm getting at here is that, the effort that...
Do you want some water?
No, thanks, I don't, actually. Do you want me to drink some water?
Sure.
Look, your focus on fire, emergency, police, every second counts, as we mentioned, but the reality is this comes down to money. It always comes back to money. It always comes down to the dollars and cents, doesn't it, Mike? And when we talk about that, budgeting and making sure that things are taken care of effectively and efficiently as a city grows the way this one has, the amount of immigrants that have moved here, and let's just say
Well,
that,
wait a sec. Let's talk about that.
are you
Let's talk
sure?
about that.
Because
Let's talk about the immigrants who move here. We need to take care of Canadians first, Manitobans first, people that have worked here, people who pay taxes. If you're a Canadian citizen, you deserve that job first before an immigrant who's not a Canadian citizen comes in and takes your job. I'm sorry, but that's the way it needs to be. I'm not against people coming into this Canada properly, going through the system like our parents did,
this country
immigrated here.
This country was founded on immigrants.
Immigrants. My
Period.
parents are immigrants. But you know what? The bottom line is it's important to do things properly, not push Canadians aside and take care of other people. Yeah, you're welcome to come to Canada. Of course you are. You're welcome to come to Manitoba. But you need to go through the proper system and procedures. So let's go one step further here.
Okay, what?
So I get if I hire an immigrant, let's just say an Indian, right? So the government pays 30% of their wages. But if I hire a white person, the government doesn't pay anything. Come on.
Did you say 30%?
30%.
I thought it was 70-30 split.
They pay 30% of the
government
person's
pays
wages.
70.
And I think it's 30%.
30, okay.
But anyways,
Maybe
either
I got
way,
it backwards.
70%, 80%, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is it's called fair play. Even board for everyone. White, black, purple, pink. I don't care what color you are. It's equal opportunity for each one of us. And if you're not a Canadian citizen, go do your due diligence, become a Canadian citizen, and then apply for work. And these people that are hiring, that are pushing our kids aside and hiring...
Business owners that are doing that.
You know what? Those businesses should,
Yeah, I do
It's-
know. And
it's
I don't
wrong.
want to talk about that right now. That's a deep,
it's
deep
frustrating.
topic.
It's
Yeah, it is.
frustrating because
Very much so. It's not just here in Winnipeg. It's across
it's
the
right
country.
across Canada. But I mean, this is part of the Liberal government
Yeah.
plan.
But look, getting back to the budgeting stuff, because I
Cost
think
destruction.
dollars and cents matter, and we can go off any which direction we want, obviously, with this particular show. But the reality here is that dollars and cents matter, and if the firemen can't afford the equipment, they can't afford the staff, they can't afford the personnel. Again, that's I believe it's 70%, like Brad said, huh? Ding, 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 Mikey. I think
Well,
so
yeah,
too,
even
Corolla.
worse. Even worse.
Well, it is.
Well,
even
I don't
worse.
know that because
It's a 70-30 split, is what I've been.
I haven't
reading in the
hired.
news,
I haven't
so.
hired anyone but.
Hey, why don't you give my
Canadians.
news show a plug?
Your new show?
Yeah, news show.
Oh, yeah. Go
How
ahead.
about my news channel? Well, you go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Talk me up.
What's up, Canada?
Come on. What? That's Wayne Peters.
You
I don't do what's up
you,
nothing.
You pump your own show.
Wake Up Canada News.
There you go. Wake
There
up
you
Canada
go.
News. You can see Brad there.
How about you help me out there?
There we go. As if you need my help.
If you haven't got the news lately, well, if you're watching mainstream, we want you
Dan
to switch
Ross.
over.
Well said, Mike.
Thanks for letting me get that in there.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. You go ahead, Dan, Mike. What? What's so important over there?
You know it's the Mike Voy Jacket show, right, Brad?
Not for long.
Nothing against immigrants coming my way either. Like, I'm all for immigration. My parents came here in 1963, worked hard, helped build Canada, and became Canadian citizens. Always had Greece in their hearts, but followed Canadian rules, laws, and became good Canadian citizens and raised.
I thought you said grease
good
in their
kids.
hearts.
Good kids. They had
Grease.
Greece. Not Greece, the heart attack Greece.
Yeah, okay.
Greece, the country.
All right.
Man.
Don't get greasy on me.
Well, let's finish off the first part of our show there. It's on your screen there. And
Well, there's nothing after this. What do you mean the first part of the show? We only had 15
we're
minutes
talking
left.
about
We've got nothing
technology.
left.
Let's just say technology isn't evil,
It's
but
not.
power. No, technology is not really evil.
Well,
But power.
what happens if you ask a Hutterite?
But power in the wrong hands can turn something really dangerous. We can't trade freedom for convenience or faith for fear. They tell you it's just a chip, just an app, just a safer way to live. But what they never tell you is what happens when you say no.
Yeah, you're going to be living in the bush by yourself at a
Convenience
or
fades,
in
but
a
controls.
camper down by or a van down by the river.
Convenience fades, but control always is here to stay.
Yeah.
So guard your privacy, defend your faith, and always choose convenience over control.
Conscience over control.
Conscience, yeah. Because once control becomes mandatory, there is no. And when you say no, things happen that aren't going to be so good. So a lot of people, I think, are on board with us, where the majority of the people would not get the chip. But before we go into the next part of the show, this is how we make change. This is how we show the people in City Hall, the mayor, the council, that we are in charge, that our safety is important, that our parents are important, that our family is important, and 911 is an important part of our world, if not the most important. When you call 911, you don't expect to get an answering machine, Brad. You expect to get an operator who's there to help you, to guide you, to hold your hand through the most troublesome time of your life. Somebody having a heart attack, a motor vehicle accident, whatever the case may be, a suicide. We need to come to this event, October 11th. When we have this many people show up at an event, it shows the power in people. It shows that we're in control. It shows that our voices count and our voices matter, and there better be change or you're going to pay the consequences. Doesn't mean we're going to come and beat you up, but what it does mean is on Election Day, you won't be back.
You want to see power to the people? You know what happened? Keir Starmer punted out of Parliament today. And at least I hope that video is true. You can't believe everything on the internet anymore except this guy. But listen, he got punted out. 4.5 million people marched in London and pushed him out of Parliament and got rid of it. And it's over, it's done. The King even said resign. He wouldn't. He showed up in Parliament today, and then he was escorted out by the security of the Parliament in London. So I saw on TV, but
so the thing is,
don't trust them either.
but you're right. We could grab control back. The people have the power, and they're showing that right across Europe, where they're going out to the streets and they're saying, no, enough's enough, and they're standing up for what they believe. And I like what Trump did yesterday, where he said we're putting Bibles back in prisons and schools. We're bringing prayer back to school. Way to go, Trump. I appreciate a man who stands by his heart, says exactly what he said he was going to do when he was running for president of the United States.
There seems to be some talk here about God Save the King being played in schools here in Manitoba. I heard there was one school that wants to play it every day, and other schools are taking offense to that.
And what's your thought on that?
Well, I kind of think that's part of the plan of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. I think that if they can, there's UNDRIP, which we haven't even discussed because Ask the Funeral Director was not the place to discuss that. But that's maybe next week's partial topic. There is UNDRIP and how that reflects back onto everything, all the way to your kids' schooling. And there's so much to get into as we move
Why don't
forward.
we talk about medically assisted in death?
Sure, MAID. Yeah.
MAID. So this is a real hot topic all over the place. And it's hot because there's a lot of controversy and a lot of things going on that people are really concerned about, including myself. So I think it's a topic that we need to talk about. And I think we should dive into that part right now. What do you think, Brad?
I agree. Mike got to dive into a tough one. MAID is medical assistance in dying. So let's start from the beginning. Where did this all start in Canada? Did it happen in your funeral home?
No, MAID officially became legal in Canada in 2016, I believe it was. Bill C-14, after the Supreme Court ruled that Canadians have the right to seek assisted death in cases of intolerable suffering, which I kind of agree with. You know, if you're going through cancer, if you're going through something that no pain medication will help you with.
That's right.
You're going to die, and you don't want to die in devastating pain. I've been in these rooms. I've seen it happen. And this last little while, I've been at the hospital visiting my father-in-law every day, feeding him, helping him through his day. And the things I've seen in the hospital make you go, At first, it was limited to people whose death was reasonably foreseeable, meaning people that already are nearing, end of life, serious illness. The goal was to offer compassionate relief, if you want to call it compassionate relief, not to replace palliative care. But that's not where the line started to be blurry. And that's the problem. The line started to be blurry. See, medically assisted in death, where we started and where we're going, where we were and where we are now.
So we kind of got an idea as to where we began, but where we are now is something totally different in 2025. And, Dr. Henry Morgentaler, I think, was the first one who showed up on the scene and said that he was performing these medically assisted in dying operations in the back of a van. And
right.
It's just that's a sad way to die too, right? Like there's no compassion or care in that. And, you always talk about compassion and care nonstop. And it's something that you do while you're driving down the street and you see somebody ask you for $1 on the corner. No, actually, here's a $25 gift card to go to a store and buy some stuff for yourself. That compassion is overwhelming.
Canada expanded MAID, just so you know, in 2021.
Where's the compassion in it?
Is there compassion in it?
I don't know. That's
is
what
there
I'm
compassion
asking.
in death when somebody is,
Like in this day and age, there should be compassion in everything. We're supposed to be looking after each other, taking care of one another. Isn't that what diversity, equity, and inclusion was all about?
Yeah.
I mean, but we're not allowed to now.
And it's really sad. And I remember I shared a story with you a long time ago about me being in a room
right
with a younger lady who died of medically assisted death. I want to share that story with you for people that didn't get a chance to hear it. It's a heartbreaking story. So I did funeral arrangements for this young lady that came in. I had no idea that she was sick. I knew that she was in pain. I knew that she was struggling as she was sitting there making arrangements, and I thought maybe she was going through cancer or something that was affecting her. So I did the arrangements, and she asked me for a hug. I gave her a hug. I spent over an hour with her, which normally takes me 15 minutes to do arrangements. So when she gave me a hug, said goodbye, and she said, well, I'll see you soon. And the next day I get a call from this lady. And this lady says to me, Mike, I kind of have an attachment with you. I felt really comfortable with you, like a dad or a really good friend. And she said, listen, I have no friends in Winnipeg. I have no family in Winnipeg. She goes, I'm going to die alone. And she goes on to say, I'm going to be part of the MAID program, medically assisted in death. And then she said to me, a question I never thought I would hear. She said, would you come and hold my hand as I leave this world?
Whoa.
And
that's kind of heavy.
I was taken back by that, and for somebody to say, do you want to be in the room with me when I die, is a pretty serious thing. And she said to me, I'd like you to hold my hand as I leave this world. So I thought about it, and I said to her, yes, I'll do that for you. And the day came where she was going to take part in the MAID program, and I was in the room with her in the hospital. I'll never forget this. We spent 10 minutes talking about her life. And then finally, the nurse came in, doctors, and, they put everything on that they needed to do to go ahead with the MAID program.
Right.
And they asked me to leave. And the lady said, no, I don't want him to leave. I want him to stay right here, and I want him to hear everything that needs to be said, and I want him to be a part of this. And it was, for me as a funeral director, it was very educational. So when I deal with families that go through the MAID program, I know what the procedure is.
Right.
So as I sat with this lady, they asked her one more time, as she was in clear mind, sign this paper if you want to go through with things.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, yes, I want to go through with it. And she signed that final signature. And then they start preparing her. Like, I'm talking minutes later, they start preparing her for medically assisted in death. And I was holding her hand, and she said goodbye to me. She said, thanks for coming. And she said, I hope you could pass on more love to the world that you just passed on to me. Someone who has nobody, not a single soul. You were there for me. A person that didn't know me, didn't know my life, but you said yes. And as I held her hand, and that first injection of the first dose that went in made her kind of dizzy, almost like she was drunk.
Right. Yeah.
And her eyes stared at me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really freaky because I knew that this lady would be dead in a couple of minutes. And she stared at me, and they put the second dose in, and the second dose puts you into a coma. And her eyes just went really bright and big, and were looking right at me, and it was, tears were running down her eyes. And it was almost her saying thank you again one more time and goodbye. And then they put the third injection in, and that shut off her heart. And just like that, she released the pressure from my hand, and she died, and she was gone. And there was no compassion in the room. I'll tell you why. Not even a minute later of me holding this girl's hand and the trauma that I went through in my own mind to be in a room where a young lady just gone. They took her life. The nurse says to me, okay, let's get her off the table, get her on her stretcher. We need this room.
Really?
And I was taken back by...
And you know what? There's actually nurses now saying, let's get her off that stretcher, get her onto the one that we're going to wheel her into the operating room. We're going to take her organs out right now, right? You heard that story, right?
We're going to talk about that, actually. But the thing is, to be a part of a MAID program and see what happened, and then, a minute later, I got this lady on my stretcher, and I'm, going down the hallway of the hospital, and then I have her in my van, and I'm driving away. It was so surreal.
Yeah, well, you were talking to her 10 minutes ago, and now she's gone.
And that's how fast it happens, my friends. And it's fast. Even doctors are saying the system is expanding faster than oversight can keep up, which is really, really scary.
Yeah, it is.
And to me, it puts fear into me because, they're moving that into different areas now. Like Canada is expanding the MAID program in 2021 to change laws made to deal with other things now. Like in 2027, somebody with mental health issues will be able to walk into the MAID program and they're going to take their life.
We're talking little kids being able to do this too, right?
That's later on in 2027. But what's scary about that is let's talk about how they're harvesting organs. So, of course, you have to give consent, but they will harvest your organs when you're part of the MAID program. Or now they're saying they're going to harvest your organs because most people that commit suicide are young.
Do you know how much money they're charging for those organs?
Well,
how much money they're making?
I know funeral homes in China and other places are charging huge money to take organs out of a deceased person.
$200,000 for a heart.
So it's scary that's happening, but it's happening right here. And now they're saying, after suicide, if you're young, we're going to take your heart, we're going to take whatever, we're going to do what we need to do. And now the MAID program in 2027 is expanding to somebody 13 years of age. You'll be able to walk into the room, sign a paper, and they will take your life. Is that right, Brad?
That's what they're saying, but I don't know that it should be done or allowed.
But this is where
kids shouldn't be making those kind of decisions.
So the question I would have, so if a kid goes to his room and gets a rope ready, or whatever they do, the majority of suicides that we see are young people taking their lives either through violent force of a gun or hanging.
Or drug overdose.
Or drug overdose. And we're seeing lots and lots of drug overdoses. So the big question is, so if a kid is struggling, is it okay for him to go to MAID? Or does he take his life in his room?
No, he should be going to a treatment center and getting the mental health he deserves.
Exactly my point. And it's something we need to do. Where's the treatment centers?
Well, I don't want to get into that. That's wasted money on budgets, and we'll talk about that in the future, obviously. But, there's a ton of things that this city is just missing out on for some reason, and the money is being. I'm old. I've seen it all. I've been here, been away from here, come back here, and I'm still flabbergasted. Everything's the same.
I think this is criminal.
Nothing has changed. The roads are the same.
I think this is criminal.
Now that they got the $50 million from the WEF to do the Winnipeg Metropolitan Region Plan. All the roads are being done. All the curbs are being rebuilt. We have all kinds of things going on in this city. Are you paying attention?
Yeah, you need to prioritize your thinking, and you need to wake up, and you need to wake people up around you, because there's things happening in this world that some people can see and other people can't. Yeah. We have a prime minister that's not on board with the citizens of Canada. There's no doubt about that. He is doing nothing good for Canada.
These bills that they're implementing backdoor in the cover of darkness are really concerning. You can find out more about the bills at wakeupcanadanews.com. You can also go to our Facebook page under Brad Wilder. Find us there, get involved, and start speaking the truth. You may be hesitant. I understand why you have hesitancy, because, people are going to look at you funny. They're going to say, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Well, you know what, or he doesn't know. But the end of the result is you have to take a chance. You have to go after them and make sure that you give them a little piece of something that they can take away and go home and do some research on. It's not about giving them the whole message at once. Just give them little bits and pieces. Once they get that, they'll maybe start to think and do something for themselves. Right now, they're stuck in a rut of watching that mainstream TV and that boob tube. And what's happening is they're getting bombarded by the other side.
You know what? The young people, the one thing I want to say is the young people of this world are losing faith. They're losing hope, and all they see is darkness. And we need to shine a light on our children. We need to talk to them. We need to tell them not to be fearful, but to have faith and to have love, and to know that there is a loving God and a caring God, and we need to put him first.
That's right.
Walk in faith. And I always tell kids, the younger generation, I say this to them all the time when I talk to kids, Get high on life. Put the drugs down and get high on life. Take yourself to a level that you've never felt before, but you could do it without drugs. You could do it without alcohol. You could do it with your mind. The most important thing that we could do in 2025, moving on to 2026, is talk to our children and show our children love. And unfortunately these days, not unfortunately, it's fortunately actually, these days you need to be more of a friend with your kids than a parent. And you need to allow them to ask questions and be able to talk to you. And I always tell Josh, for example, I always say, Josh, if there's anything you want to talk about, I want you to talk to me about it, good or bad.
That's right.
You know, I may get
Just
mad at
be
you for a
honest,
couple of
right?
seconds,
Just
but
be
be
honest.
honest.
Yep.
And I encourage you, Christina, the same goes for you. I encourage
Hey,
you today.
Do you rip your kid a new one if he's honest with you? Or
No.
do you rip your kid a new one when he lies?
It's good. It's best to give your kid the best advice you can from your heart. But don't allow your kids to be afraid of you and to bypass you and get bad advice from other people. Watch and see where your kids are going, what sites they're on, what's encouraging them, what's changing them. I always said this, I'm going to say it again. If you hang around with an alcoholic, you're going to be an alcoholic. If you hang around with a druggie, you're going to be a druggie. If you hang around with successful people, you are going to be successful. Pick your friends, pick your battles. Life is worth living. This is the new Mike Voyajaka Show. We hope that you love it. We hope that you'll join us. We hope that you're going to like, share, and follow the show. Also join Brad once in a while on his show.
Wake Up Canada News. All right? Jeez.
So 10 o'clock again on the dot. Thank you for tuning in to the old Ask the Funeral Director, now the Mike Voyajaka Show. If there's things you want us to talk about, leave it in the comment section. I read every comment that you put in this comment section, and I take it to heart, and then we'll bring it on our show. We'll talk about it. If there's topics you want us to talk about, we'll talk about them. This isn't Ask the
When
Funeral
he
Director
misses
anymore.
something, I got it covered. I'm backing him up. I got you. Don't worry. I'll make sure it gets written down and we bring it up next week.
And I'll never
okay?
stop saying this. God bless you and your families. Take care of yourselves and each other. Brad, thank you very much.
Hey, you're very welcome, Mike. We'll see you again next week. All right, everybody? Take care, guys. Good night.
Good night.